Okay, so that's the recording. I think if I now leave that be, it's gonna be recording. And yeah, words. All right, so we have a Menti where you can join us for a little bit of interaction. If you also would like to join in with some questions, if you have like a question on something I said, I will keep this one open, so there will be a way to let that be visible for me here. So I will see like a little notification the moment that we are talking about things. So yeah, hi, welcome in. I hope you're having a wonderful, lovely day. And I wanted to start with a little question to you all. What questions or worries do you have about learning music right now? This session will be dedicated mostly to people who have never ever started music but always have wanted to, but had like fully felt overwhelmed with everything, because I felt overwhelmed. I've been making music for a while and I still feel overwhelmed constantly by all the things that there are to learn, to research before getting an instrument. There's so much that's going on with music, and I fully, if I look back at it, had so many times I felt overwhelmed with music, and there's been so many questions I had building up constantly, and it's what are right now some questions or some worries, knowing about music or not knowing about music, that you would have if you were restarting again fully from the beginning. What would you like to know, and what would you like to get to know? So if there is anything like that you feel, okay, I don't know anything about music except from listening to it, or except from like I know that this is no, oh wait, there's no sound. Okay. Cool. But like, what are questions that you have when you think, okay, I want to start with music? How do I start with music? How do I get into music? How do I get knowledge? Even how do I know what instrument to get when I have like when I feel like I want to start music but I don't know how, I don't know, is this working? Oh wait, no, this is not it. How a full screen, is there something here? This is not, no, okay. So I feel like I see a lot of people in here who do know about music already or already started, but if you like go back and think, okay, if I was going to restart over again fully, what would be the first question that I ask myself? What would be the first thing that I would like to know about music? I would say, if you have a question about this, fill it in here. In the meantime, I'm gonna go to my introduction screen on here. So we'll leave that up, and if there's any questions or anything that you think works with that question, fill it in, and I will drag over the screen back to the left side where we will get into that. And hi, Clever, good to see you. So yeah, feel free to go to menti.com, put in the code. It's also in the drive in the sheet, so you can also find that there if you in the meantime wanna switch over. And we are gonna get started with this music for beginners. The triangle seems cool. How do I learn it? Well, first thing, you need to get a triangle, and honestly, you need to learn a little bit. For triangle exactly, you need to learn rhythm and know when to hit the thing, like in the full I don't know, yeah. I'm not a drummer, I do not know about rhythm instruments, but yeah, triangle, yes. All right, my first question that is not on the Menti. What is music? What is the definition of music what do you describe as music? What do you feel is music? What components does music have? And what kind of thing is music? What is that word? What does music contain? Everything that you connect with music, you can type in the Discord chat right now if you want to. What is music? And get crazy. Get crazy. What is music? It's a triangle, definitely. What is music? It's Dino playing the drums. What else is music? Okay. Yeah. Ooh. Sound, feeling, connection, 100%. Yes. And a sound. Meep is music, 100% too. Some might disagree, but Meep is music. Hi Moon, by the way. Good to see you. So yeah, music is defined in two different components. Like you have the facts that contain music is sound, music is rhythm, music is notes, and that put together you get the factual meaning of music. It's like a pattern of music, a pattern of sound made by musical instruments, voices, computers, or a combination of these, intended for enjoyment by a dictionary. So that is what music is. So even if it's like a pattern of flushing sounds, or I don't know, whatever pattern of sounds it is, it could be music. So the question, what is music, depends on what you give as a definition to it. Because a sound, you can fill that in with anything you'd like. Everything could be a sound, like this could be a sound. And if you put that sound in a certain pattern, like you get already kind of like a, sorry if that was headphone, I should have had headphone warnings, I don't know, but sorry if that was loud, but like if you put a sound in a pattern, you get music. And the definition that most of the things, it was quite alright, awesome. For me it's very loud in my ears, but yeah, it's settings and buttons and technology, and yeah. But yeah, every dictionary that I found said it was for enjoyment. So like when you flush the flush, or like unexpectedly make a sound and it doesn't have a pattern, apparently it's not music. It could be, but what Danny said is also very true. There's also an emotional connection to music that a lot of people, that is very different for and very specific to every person, and that sound and feeling and that connection is what makes the enjoyment, because it brings up the feelings, the emotions, and all the stuff that you can think of from the music. And that is music. I think we all know now what music is, right? So I'm just gonna like let my face disappear, because otherwise there's gonna be it's gonna be in the way of the rest of the presentation. But yeah, let's go. I'll see you in a bit. I'll see you in a bit. Is this the one? Yes, this is the one. Okay, so about making music in general, maybe we need a little bit of a story or a little bit of a placement of why I say motivation is everything. It's with everything you want to learn, honestly, but with music I feel it's even more important to do what you would like to do. And I cannot strain that enough, that it's very important. If you want to start learning music, don't start learning music as something you have to do, because then it's gonna be very hard to get yourself to put yourself to it. And I'm gonna put a little bit of story time in there, because because just to show how motivation can make you learn like very quickly or totally nothing at all. So we are going back to like when I was like 10 years or 12 years old, and my parents put me in music school. And the only thing I could learn was classical music, because they were like from the idea, hey, the only way you can learn music is by learning the way we have said that everything is learnable. You first gotta know classical theory. You first gotta learn classical schooling before you can go to anything else. I have nothing against classical music. I have nothing against that way of learning. But the way they taught me back then was like, there is only one way of learning music, which is definitely not true. There is not one way of learning music, and that is kind of what I wanna bring over today in this session. There is not one way of learning music, as they said in that school before. So 12-year-old me, like, didn't know anything about the world, didn't know anything about how music worked, didn't know anything about how many paths or journeys there can be in music. Reading sheet music, yeah, indeed. Like, I'm not against reading sheet music, but there's so many more ways of learning music than sheet music alone. And in music school back then, they said like you can only learn music by learning from sheet music, learning how to read notes and how to. I think I disappeared again, didn't I? By learning how to read notes and how to understand classical music theory. So I was in school for classical piano, and I really wanted to learn music, but the way of teaching didn't really match with what I wanted to learn, didn't really match with how I was looking at music, and didn't really match with how I felt like music can be so much, but it felt like a little bit of a cage that you had to be in. That was the only right way, and that feeling didn't really feel right for me at all. So I did learn theory there. I did learn how to read notes and how to read sheet music and how to like the distance between the notes, and that is really, really useful to know. But there's so many more ways of learning music now than there were like 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 30 years ago. And I just want to bring over, there is not one way. Every journey in music is different, is personal, and the way you learn in your journey is also different and will change who you are as depending on who you are as a person. So yeah, I went to these classes of piano. I came there every Saturday, and we had an hour of class where you can play for 15 minutes yourself. And I was like never practicing at all. So I came there every day to that class. Every Saturday to that class. And the teacher was every time was mad at me because I didn't practice at all, because at home I couldn't put myself to it, because it wasn't what my heart was wanting to learn, and it wasn't what I wanted to try out, and it didn't fit what I wanted to do. So that I tried it again, because I noticed, okay, maybe it's not piano that I want to do, maybe it's I just want to sing, you know. So after that 3 years of piano, I tried 3 years of classical singing, which also didn't help, because it wasn't classical singing that I wanted to do, you know. So even for that, I practiced a little bit more, because I really wanted to learn how to sing, but I didn't really go to the classes with the intention of, okay, I want to go sing and sing classical. Again, nothing wrong with classical singing, but if that's not what you want to do, and you keep yourself forcing to do it, it's gonna be more of a chore, more of an extra job, more stress, and that is something you definitely don't want to do, unless, like, of course, you're a professional musician, but that's not what we're talking about here. This is just like starting out for music, and starting out with something that you might get passionate about, that you want to do more, that you want to have as a hobby. And motivation is everything, is the key to wanting to play more and to getting all the rest working with music. So yeah, motivation is everything. Don't look over motivation, because after that I just fully stopped with music, because I felt like, if this is the only way I can play music, I don't want it, I don't need it. You know, because it just didn't match. So I just fully stopped when I stopped with high school. I went to university. I had no time for music anymore, except for singing just randomly with YouTube and karaoke websites. And then I figured out that I just want to play music. I want to sing. I don't want to be stuck in the one way of learning music, because there's so much more. I figured it out by like meeting other musicians online that were singing on a karaoke platform, and it was kind of like Twitch, but without the streaming, without the like. But it was the first community that I met online that kind of also encouraged me to like find other ways to make music, because as said, there is no one way, and you need to find what works for you. And that will be different from someone else's journey in music. So yeah, then I bumped against the DMCA laws. Yay. Because I wanted to keep making music, but you can't play music if you keep on like with karaoke things. It works, but you will at some point get DMCA'd if you want to put it on YouTube or anything else, if you want to share it with people online. So I was like, okay, I do want to learn an instrument, just to not be like only singing in the empty space. And for that, I was like, okay, maybe I don't need to learn it the way I tried to learn it earlier, and I can just start with chords, and that worked a lot better for me. I started learning the guitar, and then also a little bit of piano, a little bit of ukulele, mostly with the goal of accompanying me while I'm singing, because singing has always been the one thing that I was motivated about, that I wanted to learn, that I wanted to put energy in, and that I wanted to like discover more about, and how to grow in it. And since that moment, I've started enjoying music, and I've been able to put myself to actually practicing. But before that moment, it was really hard to get to that moment of, okay, I want to practice, I need to practice, okay, how am I gonna practice, you know? And that's kind of brought me to the day today, where I just love music so much that I can't miss it anymore, and that I am at least playing 4 or 5 days a week, not every day, because rest time is important too. But motivation is everything. If it's like forced, it's not gonna work. If it's like something you don't feel like, this is not gonna work for me, it's also gonna get very hard. So that brings us to our next part. What is important for you to find how your music journey will work, how it is gonna be specifically for you, because there's so many ways of learning music right now. Early in the days, they had no PC, no internet, so there was no YouTube, there was no apps to help with music, and everyone just learned by ear. Everyone learned music by going to music school with that one way of learning. Or going to like buying an EP or vinyl, I think, buying a vinyl, and then getting like putting it on the thing in disc player, and playing it, listening and replaying it, and replaying it till it's perfect the way that you want it. And that's how it was back in the day. But now internet exists, and school is bad. Well, not all schools are bad, because I went to music school afterwards again, and that worked a lot better, because all those strict rules of this is how it has to be were not there, and I was a little older, and I also could tell people what I wanted to do. So not all schools are bad, but it's just like, if it's forced, it's gonna be a lot harder to bring up the motivation to practice, like, for example, every week, 4 times, 3 times a week. It's gonna be very hard if it's like, kind of forced, if it's not what you feel like you want to learn. Sorry for the coughing, by the way. I'm just catching up a little bit with Chad. We are going to go over like a little bit of a little bit of an interactive exercise where we will be like, if you want to find your motivation, if you want to find your journey of music, you can just take a paper or like a digital paper, because we're gonna like try and make a what is it called? Like, I'm confused. What is it called? Oh no, I wrote it down and I don't know. We're gonna try and make like a little bit of a vision board of your musical journey. So if there is like something you would like to learn, a new instrument or a new method of learning, take a paper and just do it along with me. My singing teacher tried to have my parents remove me from the band and Motown group because singing anything other than classical was destroying my vocal cords. I so fully recognize that, not with the Motown band, but like I wanted to do so many things and it just, yeah. I'm sorry for giving you flashbacks, Storm. I hope they're good ones though. But yeah, the single way learning thing makes people waste a lot of time. I've wasted like 6 years on classical training, and it's not like I didn't get anything out of it. It's just that it wasn't really what I wanted to learn. And of course, I learned how to breathe for singing. I learned what the notes on the piano are. But I could have learned that on my own with some of the tools that I am gonna show you at the end of at somewhere in this presentation thingy, LearnSquad thingy. So yeah. I'm kind of catching up, but I'm finding chords easier on keyboard than the guitar. Yeah, it kind of depends, and it's also what you want to learn. For example, I learned guitar because I had like a build-up trauma of the music school with the classical part only, and I was like, I'm not ever gonna play piano again. No. So I need to reshare the visual camera. Okay, yeah. Let me just check that. There we go. I didn't move it yet. I think maybe I did. I don't know. But thank you for reminding me, because I was lost there. Practicing because you're forced to, practicing because you want to. Indeed, Stormin. Yeah. So the only one who knows what your journey will be or is you. And the only one that will actually know what works for you is you as well. So that is kind of what I wanna go through with you all. So I would say, grab a paper, grab a pen, grab a digital kind of way of making a vision board. The important thing of this is that you can create it so that you can see it. Because the thing that we want to do when we start a new instrument is practice, and we want to practice a lot because we wanna know how we just, if you decide I wanna learn an instrument, you know that you're gonna have to practice. And for me to start with, getting reminded of, oh right, I want to do practice is the first thing where I run against too. There's been like many stages in my life where I was like, okay, I want to practice, but I completely forgot to practice. Or like, okay, I want to learn the guitar, and I completely forgot my guitar existed because it wasn't in my space of sight. So vision board with like all the things that you need and want to know for you. Gotta practice your skills, indeed. Yes. So yeah, the first thing we want to talk about, we already kind of did, finding your reason and motivation. making clear for yourself what you want to learn, what your goals are. And I think Danny was talking about it in her LearnSquad as well in the beginning. Make your goals smart, because they will be the best way to actually get there and know all the things that that are important to make it work. How to do I practice bagpipes without spawning a mob that tries to lynch me? I honestly don't know about that. I'm just gonna, I don't know, but good luck. Figure out what motivates and energizes you when you feel low or not up to practice at all, because that is also, there will be times that you are just not like gonna make it work, and that is okay. But also, if it's something you do want to do, make sure that is something you can get yourself to, because music is like sports. I am not one to run, for example. I hate running, but I had parts in my life where I was running for like 3 or 4 months, not in one time, but like if I stopped running and stopped building it up, I stopped running for like half a year or longer, and then I thought, okay, maybe I should start running again. And that was the same pattern. Like, that's okay, but try to oh gosh, bagpipes, yes. Wait, there's a MIDI version of a bagpipe. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Soundproofing is really important too. But yeah, make it specific. This is an exercise that you can do. For example, silly, maybe a little bit of a silly example, but I just started playing guitar, and I want to play Happy Birthday for my mom to her birthday. Make it specific, saying like, okay, I want to learn Happy Birthday by my mom's birthday. So, measurable. The goals can be tracked, allowing you to see your progress. They also tell you when a goal is incomplete, so that is actually also kind of that. I had a paper there for, so just a second, I need to check it. So, specific, I want to learn to play and sing Happy Birthday. Measurable, I practice until I can do so. Until I can play an A and a D chord. Until I can play the rhythm. Until I can play and sing at the same time. Actionable, for example, I practice 3 times a week for about 2 hours or less. 15 minutes is also okay. It depends on what kind of time you have to practice, of course. And then realistic, okay. I probably will have to do like 1 week to learn new chords for A and D, probably longer, but just like to know how the shapes are and get them in my brain. Then like 1 week for figuring out the rhythm, and then playing and singing at the same time for this specific song is also a week. So maybe if I like count 1 month, maybe a little longer, just because I'm starting out, that would be all right for my time board, you know? So try to make your goals smart. Try to think, what are the things that I want to reach? What are my goals in music? Is it like I just want to play music around the campfire? Oh no, I lost me again. Oh gosh. Do you just want to like play music around the campfire like this one? Or do you wanna play songs for other people? Do you wanna play songs for your family, or do you wanna play together with family? Do you wanna like perform or like go out busking or any other reason? Make it visible for yourself what kind of goal you have with music, whatever it is. Because like if you wanna learn how to play video game music, or if you would like to play movie music, figure out what you need for that, and figure out what is important to get to that point, and make your goals smart. Work them out so you know what you actually need to do to get to that point of your goal. And also don't make them too too hard, because the thing that I noticed by myself and from other people who are starting with music is they start with like, I'm gonna practice every day. I'm gonna practice every day for 4 hours. I'm gonna be the best guitar player ever. And then they do that for like 1 week, 2 weeks, and then for a whole year they don't touch the guitar again, because it's not going as quickly as they prepare to do, or as I prepare to do, or wanted it to be. And that might be like causing to lose the interest in it, because your expectations are way higher than the possibility of that moment to do, because you don't know at the beginning how quickly or how long it will take to learn, for example, one chord. And that is something you have to figure out the moment that you are starting out. So put yourself to goals. For example, what I did with my practices most of the times is I say to myself, okay, I have school, I have family obligations, I have things I need to do outside of work and school and obligations and sleep. So I cannot play music every day, because I also want to meet up with friends. I also I also have to do chores and stuff and all these things. So it's important to make it realistic that you can actually put yourself to it. And perfectionism is indeed the enemy of good. That's true. That's true. So I was reading chat, but yeah, this what was I saying? Brain. Oh gosh, I lost it. Yeah, it's very important to like not put your expectations too high. If you want to do it just for fun, if you want to learn a new thing, don't put too much pressure on yourself by saying, okay, I need to practice every day, and it needs to be at least 4 hours, and it needs to be like I need to know 40 songs by the end of the month. Don't do that to yourself, because that's gonna wreck your brain and you will stop playing. Find a song that you want to learn, and maybe like practice 15 minutes 3 times a week in that song, or even 5 minutes. If in the beginning you just want to create a habit of taking up your instrument, playing the things that you want, don't start with, oh, this says that I need this to get good at the thing that I'm trying to learn. But like, play the things that you feel like you want to learn, and play the things that you feel like, hey, okay, I can do this like 10 minutes a day, not the day, 3 times a week, 10 minutes a day. If it's for fun, don't put too much pressure on it, indeed, because you want to get good at it, but you don't want to burn yourself out before starting, right? So take a break from it if it gets too much. Learn 4 songs by December seems fair. Yeah, definitely. For example, it depends on what you want to learn as well. What do you want to learn? Like for me, I didn't want to learn classical music. I didn't want to learn, like, I tried learning video game music as well, and it wasn't just it just wasn't for me, and that's okay. So I figured out, okay, if I can just play chords, I can play a lot already, and I can sing with it, and that is what I wanted to learn. And that is something that is only you who can decide what you want to learn. And remember, Danny wrote a whole song about how you can do this. 100% yes. Trying to find what I can learn for months. Yeah, and it's definitely not easy to find that, and 100% it's okay to change your part while you're learning it. It's very important to figure out what you want to learn instrument wise, but even then, if you're like, okay, so I tried it and I don't feel that it brings me joy anymore, then that's okay. Then you can just like look further and see, maybe there's something else that will bring you joy. And maybe, yeah, it's not like, maybe if you're like that's not the world is not ending because you're like, I don't want to do it anymore. That's okay. And then maybe you can just gift your instrument to someone else in the family who wants to learn it, or yeah, that kind of thing. You the moment it gives you stress, it's good to just say like, okay, I take a break now, and I might come back to it. But there's so many ways of learning music and so many things you can learn. I thought I wanted to learn video game music, and I got myself to it for a few months, and I just stopped after the words, and that's okay. It's just like the goals can change in the running as well. And if you don't meet your goal, don't be discouraged. If you learn 3, that's 3 more than you knew before. That's 100% true. Yes. Exactly. So yeah, that is finding your motivation, finding your goals, find what you want to learn, and see if that is something that you want to put time and effort in. And these are, by the way, the different parts of the journey where I have found like blocking things to practice, things that blocked me from getting myself to start playing music, to start practicing, to start. So if you find like you don't really know what you want to do with the music, it might be good to sit still and think, okay, what are all the things that I could do with music? Why do I want to learn music? What is it that drives me and that gives me energy to want to learn that kind of music, for example? And then we come at the second part, choosing your instrument, which is also very important. There's so many instruments that it can be quite overwhelming on how to on how to find the right instrument. So yeah, it can be daunting to find a style or a genre. It can be daunting to find the right instrument because even if you say I want to play guitar, there's a whole bunch of guitars, and it's sometimes like very, very confusing on what guitar do I get now. And that is a journey as well on itself. You won't know for 100% if it will be stuck in your case or not, and that is definitely all right, because it's not like if you buy it you need to learn it. It's of course sad if it's gonna be in its case for a long time, but it's not like if you buy it that you, even if it's stuck in its case for a long time. I mean, my piano has been untouched for 3 years before I started playing piano again. Oh no. There we go. So I had that with my ukulele. I haven't touched my ukulele for almost 2 years now. I've sometimes play it, like a little bit, or not at all. So I had that with my guitar as well. It's okay to take breaks from your instruments as well sometimes. If it's like, I don't really get the joy from it right now, don't force it. It will come back at some point. And if it doesn't, then maybe it's time to look at something else and see what other kind of musics there are, what other kind of styles, what other kind of genres there are, what other kind of instruments you might like. I have a friend who has always been singing, and is now like, okay, I'm just gonna drop singing and I'm just gonna play the drums, and that's definitely all right, you know. But indeed, there's like so many different instruments, and that's also a little bit what I wanted to show you. Most of the times when you walk into a store, the store people know what is good for a beginner, but they might not immediately know what is good for you. So it's always good to research yourself what kind of instruments would be good, and what kind of instruments in the instrument would be good for you to work with. I have put some information about the website that I'm gonna show you right now, this one, into the tool thingamadingy that you can find in the drive. But for example, I find all my information here. Everything I need I find on toman.be or de or .com, and it disappeared again, I think. I don't know. I think my dad is playing FIFA or something. Uh, again. Let's see. There we go. But I find all my information on this website because I feel when I walk, even right now, I still feel very intimidated if I walk into a music store. But that is probably the best way to try out an instrument and see if it works for you, is to just go to a store and try it out. But I still feel very intimidated, and I knew I've always felt very intimidated by all the instruments, by all the information that a store clerk throws on you. So what I do most of the times before I go there, or even if I don't go there, is like, okay, someone that has like a blog with a lot of information. There's like your local music store probably has a website where they also throw out a lot of information. But like, I bought my guitar like a few months ago, and I got it by checking this and talking about it with friends who are in chat right now. And I had no clue about electric guitars. I had no idea what would help me, where I could find information about it. So I asked friends who know about music, and that's definitely also a very good way of doing so. And here in the music and audio support is a very good place where you can ask friends about information as well. But if you want to research yourself, this is, for example, a place where you can do that. They have like a whole lot of guides on what acoustic guitars to get, what e-guitars to get, what guitar amps to get, etc, etc, etc. And there's like, the information is made by musicians who also sell music instruments, so I suppose it's gonna be kind of correct most of the times, right? But there's so much to like getting an instrument. As Clever says, the sound of a classical guitar is it's fully different from, like, depending on the wood, depending on how big the classical the sound case is. And I didn't even know when I was getting my guitar at first that I needed an amp kind of thing. So you don't know what you all will need. What you will need for your instrument, because for example, you do not need effects when you're beginning, but yeah, you might need an amp if you want to go for an electric guitar. And to find out what information you want about this, you can go to a store and ask a store clerk. You can go to the website of a store, because they most of the times have a blog or like basic information on the instruments and on the on what you need to start out. I thought there was a beginner's one somewhere here as well, because I think I used that at some point. But you can also ask friends. You can and if you have found one that you feel like, okay, this sounds like this kind of thing, I think this works. If you're not gonna go to the store and try it out, at least look up some reviews on YouTube. YouTube is an amazing resource of information. I've watched countless top 10 e-guitars for like 300 euros. I've watched like tons of low budget instrument things. And if you're starting out, don't go for the most expensive thing. That's also something I want to say, because you might still change your mind about your instrument or your style or your genre. And it's very important to think, okay, what do I want to do with it? As said before, your journey is different from everyone else's. Do you want to stream it? Then you might need a guitar that you can plug into an interface or into a PA system. It's not necessary, because in the beginning when I was streaming, I used my classical guitar, because that was the only one I had, and then a USB mic, so that works too. But it's like, depending on what your goals are, you might have to change the way you look at it, and the research might be different for what you want as well. The whole session today is about what will work for your journey, what will work for you, because that's my clue of the story, is like, my journey is not your journey, it's not journey of anyone else who has been through a musical journey. Everyone has their own music journey, and it depends on what you want to do, what you want to reach with music, what you want to get out of it, what you want to do with it, what you feel is important with it. Hi James, by the way. Hi. The most important thing is to make sure an instrument is of good quality, not to make it impossible to play. Just about anything in music store will fit the criteria. Don't buy your first guitar at the department store. 100%, yes. Yes, 100%. Like, if it's 20 euros for a guitar, even if you're beginning, it's like with everything, right? If you buy something, don't go for the most expensive thing, because that is probably not worth it. But definitely when you're beginning, but also don't go for the 20 thing that is too good to be true, because the sound at some point will really get on your nerves. Yeah, find a little bit of balance. But that's with everything, right? Okay, so research and figure out what do you want to do and what do you need for that. Those are two important questions with an instrument that you need to ask yourself. Then a very important thing as well, choosing your environment is a very important one. Because, for example, in the beginning, I didn't want anyone near me when I was practicing. I was just like, no, I feel too embarrassed. Don't come close. I want to be alone when I'm practicing. I don't want anyone hearing me. I'm a beginner. I need space to grow. I cannot let you hear me practicing. But that was when I was doing the classical thing, which didn't really work for me. Now I feel like, well, then when I started streaming, I was like, okay, outside of streaming, I don't have that much more time to practice. And I felt like streaming helped me play more songs and learn more songs as well, for example. And there goes the screen again. Wi-Fi. But yeah, your environment to practice is very important too. Because do you want to practice alone or do you want to practice together? If you want to practice together, maybe it's better to go to the school and find a place where you can study it together if it like works well with how you want to learn. You can find like-minded people who also want to work on the same, who also want to practice the same instrument and like play together. But if that's too daunting, there's a lot of self-education tools as well that are put in the list. I need to shit. Oh, yeah. Thank you. I keep forgetting to do that. Oh, gosh. Oops. Okay. So, how does it work for you? And what do you need to practice as well? Because, for example, what I said before is if you're working 40 to 60 hours a week, and you have neighbors that you cannot play music for in the evening because they want to sleep, and you have like parents that don't want to listen to you play the same song over and over again, it might block you from practicing, and it might make you stop in the end because you don't have a space where you can practice. So it's always good to think as well, what do I need right now to be able to practice and to get to that, to the little space where I can start practicing. I know people who cannot sing in their house because then family might hear them and they sing in their car, which is not fully okay for the breathing, of course, because then you're sitting down, but it works, and if it works, then it works, you know. So find a space where you can work with that you know I'm gonna be able to practice. Is it your room? If you have family members in the house, can you soundproof it so you don't bother them or the neighbors? Is there a baby that needs to sleep at noon or not something? How much practice are you comfortable with? Like, do you want to practice a whole week every day for 15 minutes, or would you like to preferably practice 3 times a week? Oh gosh, the Wi-Fi. There we go again. Do you want to practice 3 times a week? for about an hour, which is definitely all right. You just need to figure out what is working for you. Let's share that again and hope it stays working. So yeah, what is important for you to get a schedule of practicing going on? What else do you need? Water, cookie, tea, loud surroundings, or just a quiet one? And yeah, do you need a vast schedule, or do you more want to be playing like when you feel like it, as long as it's like, for example, 3 times a week? It's good to have kind of a schedule, just to know, okay, I want to play 3 times a week, but if it doesn't work that one day, you can always switch to another day. But if you're someone like me, it doesn't always work to have like, okay, I need to practice then, and then. But like, I wouldn't mind a cookie. Yeah, same. No. So yeah, that is finding, choosing your environment is very important as well, because the many times people have to stop because they feel embarrassed when people are not near, or they cannot practice because a baby needs to sleep, or there's no room in their schedule to practice. That is a very legit reason to not practice, honestly. But it's good to know how that works for you, because if you have so much going on, you cannot practice 3 times a week, and you might be good with 1 time practice a week. But that is also very personal. Again, it's your journey, it's your personal music journey, so it works for you or it doesn't. And that's also why, if you have like very complaining neighbors, you can find an instrument, maybe like the bagpipes. You can find one that you just have to connect to a PA system over an interface, and then your neighbors won't hear anything. So it's good to keep in mind what you might need to be able to play and practice. So, learning methods. How are you then going to start learning your instrument? Every person science says that every person learns differently, and that every type of learning, the more senses you combine, the better you will start learning. So I'm a very visual, auditive person in learning style. When I was a kid, I used to write everything down, but that didn't, looking back at it, that didn't really work for me. I was just writing everything down, and it just didn't work that much, because it was like, I'm a visual, auditive learner. I learn by seeing how people do it, for example, playing piano, but also by hearing what they are doing. And if I need to do it by myself at home, and I don't see what's going on, and I don't hear what's going on, it's gonna take a lot harder for me, and a lot more, to actually get to that point where I learn something that works for me. So you can be very visual. You need to see it. Bodily kinesthetic. I do not know how to say that word, but hi Damon, good to see you. So yeah. Some people need to do some physical exercise while learning. You have people who are like studying for exams while doing like walking around, just because that helps them, like combining the learning methods of brain activity with physical activity. Musical, like auditive, like for study. A lot of people learn their study things from school, for example, with music, and that is definitely, music will combine your different parts in the brain, for remembering lyrics, sound. So putting information to a song might work to help remember it, and that's why if you're trying to practice music, you also try to combine as much senses as possible. A linguistic, you're bringing it into words, you're writing it down, you're trying to put it into words what you're actually doing. and that's what music theory tries to do, of course. So I'm not, music theory might help. Logical mathematical learning is like trying to put things together, making it logical. That is another way of learning. Interpersonal, trying to like explain it to other people, talk about it to other people, and have a conversation about music and how to learn it, might also like give you a better sense of how you, if that is might give you, that might be the way that you learn. For example, like I also remember sometimes by just trying to explain it to other people, and then you're inside of yourself, inside of your brain, by reflecting on it. If you play the song and you keep making the same mistake, oh yeah, okay, it's always that same place, so I might need to repeat that place separately to make it work that way and to get to learn it. I have no clue what naturalistic means, so I'm gonna skip that one. But yeah, learning styles. Everyone's learning styles are different, but it's good to combine some senses, and what senses you better combine might be different for everyone, but try to find what works for you. For example, visual and auditive, then spoken out loud. You can also write down the theory, for example, like if you need to learn the chords, you can just say like, okay, C, okay, that is that chord on the guitar, that chord on the piano. You can try to draw it out. But like most learning methods are like a combination of all the different senses. And the most practices or learning music happens in different kind of ways for everyone. But it mostly contains on practicing and rest, and practicing and rest, and practicing and rest, and practicing and rest. Music is practicing and also taking a step away from it so it can work through it in your brain, but also getting back to it and that doing that over and over again. Another way is to test yourself. Like for example, if you're learning a song on your instrument, for example, the Happy Birthday I was talking earlier about, you have managed to learn the D chord, you have managed to learn the A chord. Test yourself without looking on the next practice day. Go back to that chord and say, okay, do I still know how to play the D chord? Do I still know how to play the A chord? Do I still know how the chords are in order and how to play it? Can I play it without looking? Like, test yourself after you learn something, just to see, did I manage to get this learned, and can I move to the next part? Because another thing that I noticed myself and also see with others is, you want to learn all the things and you try to learn everything all at once, but learning everything all at once is very overwhelming. Don't do that. So repeat, practice, rest, repeat, practice, rest, test yourself, practice the parts that don't work, rest, practice the whole thing, repeat, test, practice, rest. Like something like that might be working well, just because any kind of course or any kind of thing you want to learn exists out of practice, rest, and repeat. And also testing yourself. And then other ways you can learn or practice is by teaching others, explaining how it works or how what you're doing. Playing together with others. Like if you're for the first time trying to play like your instrument and match it up with others, it's very, very daunting as well. But it's a good exercise to see, okay, how far am I in my instrument in this song? Best is to kind of take a person that is also in the same kind of kind of difficulty level with the instrument, because you're probably gonna face the comparing game as well when you're starting music, because that's what we all do, that's what our brains do, that's normal, but it's not healthy, because you have your own journey and other people will have theirs, and some people might have had like a way more longer time to practice, or are just like haven't found their learning style. So that is just one thing that I also want to say. But yeah, combine your senses and your methods to figure that out. You know. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the tool sheet that I prepared. This is also to all the musicians in here who might have tools as well. I've put a tool sheet in the Discord, in the drive I mean, and this is how it looks. And I've made like different places with tools and learning methods that you can find for self-education, because there's a lot of ways to learn music. I've talked about going to music school, all the music schools. Oh, I'm down again. Oh no. Here's the music sheet. Oh gosh. Every time. Oh god. So yeah, this is a tool sheet, because I was thinking, if I'm gonna explain every instrument, we're gonna be here like for at least 3 more days. At least. It's probably gonna be longer. And there's also a lot of musicians that have more knowledge about these kind of instruments as well in this Discord. So I felt like I'm just gonna put a whole list together with tools that you can use, that all the musicians in here can fill in as well with their tools that they used to start, that they found out that work well for them, because it is different for everyone and we all need to find what works for us. But I've kind of listed up what I've been using in the past 7 years for myself music journey education. 3 more days of this. This will be the longest LearnSquad. Yeah. So we could keep talking about basic music for starting with music, honestly. So I just try to push it all together in in a little bit of a thingamadingy. Because there's a lot of tools out there now. I was talking about earlier in the past 30, 20 years, people only had like the set music schools and their own ears, which are still, I recommend using your ears for all of music. Use your ears. Your ears are your best tool. But what I meant to say is there's so much more tools now to get yourself started with music, and it depends on what you want to learn. If you want to learn like singing and playing chords and just like making covers of music for around the campfire, or for playing at family parties, you can use Ultimate Guitar, the one and only best thing for chords, where you can also, by the way, find all the chords to Danny's songs. Yeah, this is an amazing tool that I started learning chords with, because everything is there that you need. Yes, shout out Danny, 100%. So I use Ultimate Guitar for everything, and this is one of the top tools if like you wanna start learning music, covers, finger picking as well, strumming. You find everything. For example, you won't be able to hear it, I think, but you can hear how the strumming part goes. You can hear how the chord you have to play works, for example. You can choose what kind of instrument you want. Now it's on ukulele, but you can choose guitar, you can choose piano, you can choose bass, and I think as well. Ultimate Guitar is like one of the best tools to get started, just because you can find songs that you would like to play. For example, you can go to the main page. Let's do that right now. And you can go here, explore, tab, catalog. Ultimate helper. I know, right? It's like it's a gem into learning music. You can click here, absolute beginner, and then it will only show all the tabs or the chords that are for beginners. You can choose the tuning, you can choose the decade you want to play songs from, you can choose the genre, you can choose the style, capo or no capo, acoustic, the key, the whole song or a part of it, and then original or live, and I'm gone again. Oh gosh, Wi-Fi issues. Let me open that up again. Like, there we go. So this is one of the greatest apps ever existing, in my opinion. Well, websites. It also has an app that you could use for when you're moving around. But that one is paying, just in case that is the pro one. They recently started putting out courses as well. I've never used those, but like, it looks okay. I've never tried it, but if anyone did try it or wants to try it, let me know how it goes, because there's a lot of things here, and it is you can try it for free, so maybe I'll try that at some point. But they have a lot of great things, and it's a great tool to get into music, and definitely if you want to play covers, it's an amazing tool to start like playing music that is already existing. Seeing Danny YouTube videos of her playing the song on the ultimate guitar and trees is a powerful learning combo. Yes, 100%. 100%. So yeah, you can see the chords, and it's the tool that I learned playing chords with afterwards. Now there is also, if you go to websites, here chord finder, because in the past I didn't know chord finder was a thing, but you can here like find, okay, I'll need to play an E sharp major. I don't know how to play it. You can pick your instrument, like ukulele, guitar, or piano, and you can just see how you have to play it. Like for a guitar, for example, you have your strings. Back in the days, we only had tabs and ears, yeah. So there are so many tools right now existing, and I think if we all put them together as musicians into the little tool list, beginners who want to start have like a whole library of ways that they can find their journey in music with, because there's so many ways now to get started, and there is not one way. As I said in the beginning, there is not one way to learn your music. I use these to find my chords. It's like chord books, guitar chords, ukulele chords, piano chords. It's books where you can find like how is the chord written, and you have these websites where you can just find it. There's also like a drum machine, a metronome, and a tuner. You might need those if you're starting to play a guitar. I'm glad it could be useful and a good resource, because I thought like I could like start explaining everything about singing, about ukulele, about piano, but then it's another way of me saying, hey, this is how I learned it, so it's probably gonna work for you, but that is not what I want to say, because it might not, and it's always a little bit of a guessing game what works for you, and it depends on your learning style, it depends on your patience with yourself and with music, it depends on the whole thing we already said about where can you practice, and it depends on so many things. And it just has to work for you, and there's the classical way of music, it might be that works for you. It didn't for me, but I'm not gonna say that it doesn't that it's completely wrong. It's just that it didn't work for me, and that's something that I feel I'm not the person to tell you how to start your music journey. I'm just here like giving tools that might help you with your musical journey, and hopefully this could work. I mean, there's like a whole ton of things here for a whole lot of different kind of things you want to learn. For example, I have never learned singing by the complete vocal technique, but in the music school that I wanted to enter the next year, they are using that theory about singing, so I've put it there. Maybe it works for someone. I've put terminology about singing there, like for example, what does an alt mean, or what does what does it mean to yeah, I can open it and show it. Like this is just a terminology of different styles and techniques that are existing. What is a falsetto? What is yodeling? I mean, those are things that could be helpful to someone, and I thought like, hey, maybe this could help someone. So yeah, if you're a musician and you have some tools for other people who might be starting, feel free to add them into this list. It's going to become a bread and butter knowledge share tool as a community comes together and shares the things they know. Yeah, and I feel there's so many things to music. There's definitely some kind of way to learn that will work for you, but it's kind of like everything in life. You just gotta like try it out and see if it works, and if it doesn't, maybe try something else. So yeah, that's websites. We also have like a bunch of apps. Let's see if I can open this one now. Oh, let's see. Let's go. There we go. Yeah, spreadsheets. It's a spreadsheet. I hope this is gonna... Okay, so this is the app on the iPad of the Ultimate Guitar, which works kind of the same, but for this one, yeah, we're not gonna go there. You also have like a tuner, you have a metronome, and it's very practical and nice if you're starting with guitar or ukulele, or bass. I don't know, I'm not a bass player, I have no clue, but it's good to have those things in there that you can tune them and that you can figure out what you need, because yeah. I was gonna go to another app though. I was gonna go to this one. This is Musician, and it is like an app you might have heard of already, maybe not, but it's an app where you can find like a whole bunch of different exercises. Oh, what was that? I heard something falling down. So yeah, it has a free trial where you can play a lot of songs, but it works pretty well, and I've tried it ages ago when it wasn't this worked out. But it's like an app that takes it step by step on what you want to learn. For example, I say like, for example, this one. Oh wait, okay. So they did change their plan apparently. That's sad. But I thought there was like a free version of the normal things as well. But it is a really good app. I have tried Musician in the beginning. Let's see if I can put this out again and go here. So this is the app from the browser. You have guitar, bass, piano, ukulele, and singing. And depending on what you want to learn, you get like an app, but it's like a gamified version of learning how to play chords. And it might work for some people, it might definitely not for some others, but oh, I think I disappeared again. I'm sad they changed their plan, but it's a good app. I have tried it for for refreshing my basics on the piano and on the guitar as well. I recently tried learning finger picking, and I felt that might yeah, that it might help some people as well. So yeah, that's in there too. And then I'm also recommending YouTube. YouTube has so many things to offer on how to start playing. And I've recently started following this person, Marty Music. Has great videos on how to play pop rock, jazz, chords, funk songs, and how to start like understanding your guitar better, both for classical as acoustic as electroacoustic as fully electric. And there's so many YouTube channels out there that teach you how to start, mostly for beginners. I've put them here in the sheet as well. But yeah, there's so many things, so many things, and it can be very overwhelming to find your way through all the tools. There are some books you might have heard for the For Dummies series. There's one for everything. Like I have one digitally for singing, for sound producing, for guitar, piano. There's one for everything, and they are pretty good on explaining the basics of an instrument as well. And yeah, a little tip that I also wanted to give along on Humble Bundle. They sometimes sell book bundles with music books. I've got a few that I got there, so that might be interesting. To get to. And then of course, Skillshare, Udemy. I don't follow any channels there, but like online learning platforms, there's a lot of courses there too. I don't follow any, so I couldn't recommend any of there. But if anyone has followed one of those, be sure to drop them in here. And then it's just always good to play and sing with other people in local jams, open mics, or get-togethers. And if that doesn't exist, you can always like try to create it yourself with people in your surrounding area. Or if you just like, I want to start playing music, but I know I cannot do it alone, and I want to find mutual people who also want to like learn it together, but also like not in a class setting, or just, you can also create that if you feel like that is something that works for you better than maybe going to an actual music school. But if you're like this, you just gotta find what works for you. Again, it's the whole session. You gotta find what works for you, because there's so many ways of getting into music. And yeah, I don't know, where is my screen gone again? I don't understand buttons and technology and why this is happening, because I don't even hear my dad playing FIFA right now. But yeah, so yeah, that is that. Let's see if I have all the things open. So yeah, there's a lot of tools in here. I would say go through them, take a look at them. For piano, there's like this app called Synthesia that I have tried out before, also Online Pianist, which is also a great tool. It shows you how to play. Let's see. You choose what you want to learn. Classical, pop, rock. It never worked for me unless I could slow it down, but it never worked because I never paid for that. But like, you can slow down how quickly it comes, and then you have to play on the piano what note is coming down. And I've always thought that was an interesting way to learn it. If you want to learn with music sheets, for example, that is also one way to do it. But you can also go to music notes. Is that it? No, Music Notes has sheet music, but also Music Score is another platform where you can find sheet music for free and paying, both, because it's created by people who play the piano and who want to learn the music and share that music with others. They also have courses, apparently. I didn't know that. So there's so many ways. Oh gosh, I'm gone again. But there's so many ways on learning music, and it depends on what you want to learn. And that is a question that only you can answer. What do I want to learn? How do I want to learn it? And what way would work for me? And that might not be answered in just one try, but I'm sure you can get there though. I'm sure you will figure out what is your way of learning. It might take some time, but knowing that there is not one way might make the progress go faster, so you're not stuck at, oh, this is how they say I need to work, and this is how they say I need to learn music, because there is no one way anymore. Maybe in the past it was that way and that was the only way, but not anymore. So find out what works for you. ask yourself the questions, reflect on, okay, this was not working that well because I got very bored of it. And if you get bored of it, switch it up, get some other things in there. For example, with the sheet music, these are sheet music things that people have put up here. You can play it like this, and then it will play the chords and you can play along. You can also just print the sheets and play it at home, where you can write on the papers and try to decipher what's on there. And if you want to like decide, I want to do with learn with sheet music, I'm gonna refer back to the LearnSquad of Lop. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but that was an amazing LearnSquad about music theory, and everything that you need to know to get started is in there. So if you decide, okay, I want to learn music theory, be sure to go check out the LearnSquad, because everything you need to know about music theory to start interpreting this music sheet, or to like understand what is going on, is there. And if you decide like, okay, chords might work better for me, use Ultimate Guitar, or you use another platform that is like, okay, yeah, it's I don't know, there's not one way. I think that's clear, right? I think we got that right, that it's not like one way of learning. Yeah, the learning is too intense. It's yeah. Lol, clever. Thank you, but I don't know how to react to that. YouTube. What? Yeah, but there's a lot of things on YouTube, and main thing I can say is listen to your ears. No, listen to your ears. Use your ears to listen, and trust your gut and your feeling. Because the moment that you get a little bit of a feel for it, you will hear if something is right or not. But also don't be too much perfectionist. You're trying to learn something new, and you got to start somewhere. And know you, clever. Know you. And know you, Sarah. Know you. Also, hi, Danny. Good to see you. Hi, Raleigh. Guten Morgen. Good to see you. So yeah, that is that. There's a sheet. If you have any questions, let me know. There's also some information about ear training, about songwriting, about music theory, about rhythm. I have a lot of apps on here. Let me see if I can open it again. Like, okay, this is my, yeah, we do not want to see that. This is how my thing looks on my iPad with things. So you have, the first one is Ultimate Guitar. Then GarageBand to record things. A thing to record when you're on the way. Like, it's, if you're a singer and you singer-songwriting, you think, okay, I need to record something, but I don't have anything. That is the worst. That's the worst. So recorder, a metronome. You need to know when metronomes. Auto chords is to get like chord progressions. Noises is like an app that removes the vocals from the audio. So that is very useful if you need a karaoke or something to learn and practice it. But there's also like a lot of karaoke websites and apps on the spreadsheet, so be sure to check that out if you want to learn that, because for singing, karaoke websites are amazing to learn lyrics, to learn how the song goes, to just have fun, because it's fun to sing karaoke. Melody trainers, Solfeggio, Open Ear, Write Songs, Caravan, ukulele and piano musicians. Those are my apps that I use. Capo is also very good, and Rhythm Trainer is good for rhythm. Capo is very good for ear training. So there's apps for everything. There is apps for everything. They are in the sheet, so be sure to go check that out if you if you have a certain thing that you want to learn. What I do recommend as well, if you know a little bit of music theory, Circle of Fifths, amazing. I don't know why this is like that, but this is, I just use it for my circle of fifths to like use it. I have yet to memorize the circle of fifths. Same. I have not memorized it. and my brain is too slow in mathematics to go from the C to the G. I know it's a fifth, but my brain is like, yeah, I know that I could do that, but there's an app for that. I can just read it, you know? And my brain is like, I want to practice the right kind of things and not like, there is an app for that, 100%, there's an app for everything. So if there is something in music that you want to learn, what I do most of the time is, first thing, I Google it. If Google doesn't give me the right answer, I see if the App Store or the Google Store has it, because most of the times they have something that is like it. Even if it's like just for training or for like karaoke or for playing, there's probably an app for that, and you don't have to like get yourself always fully music theory trainer. There's so many things existing, and I feel like so many time goes to figuring it out. Well, practice doesn't always need to take that much. I mean, if I just go to rhythm trainer, start with the basics, you see, like, you have to clap along.
2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. So there's an app for everything, and that's what I say with, there's not one way of learning. There's a million ways of learning how to learn rhythm. There's a million ways of how to learn singing. There's a million ways how to learn a chord. So I would say, if you're starting with music, go through the tools and just like Google it. Google it. There's so many ways. There's so many ways. There's too many ways. It's yeah. No, that's not it. Let's go back here. So yeah. Feel free to add more tips and tools to the list, because those are only the ones that I have been using in the past. But there's so much more right now. There is so much more, and it's as I said, it's finding what works for you and what doesn't, because for me, I try playing with sheet music, and I know it works for a lot of people, but I don't have that patience with myself, and it makes me like get very much in a perfectionist state where I get very mad at myself that I can't do it, and that is just not, then the fun goes out of it, and that's not what you want if you're doing it for a hobby. If you're doing it because you want to learn it, that's not what you want. So figure out what works for you to keep the fun of it, to keep getting energy from it, to keep getting the things out of it that you want to get out of it. So yeah, that's the what, when, where, why, what, how. And then we're at the what now. Now is practice, practice, practice. Surprise. Surprise. You gotta practice to get better at your instrument. But yeah, also, how do you get persistent? That is a question that I ask myself a lot of times, because I am not the best practitioner when it comes to practicer. So it's like, what I would take out of that is, have patience with yourself, find out what helps, what works for you, and don't get upset with yourself if it's not working. Then just try to find another way that might work for you. And it is a journey. I've been looking for it since I was 10, 12, and I was traumatized by music school. But I figured out in the last 7 years that there is so many things that will work for me more than what I did then. And persistency, I mean, it comes down to planning and scheduling. I don't have a set plan. I practice when I'm streaming. And I feel like my persistency comes from doing the things that I want to learn. For example, like picking a song, a cover that I want to learn, picking a song that I feel like motivates me to get back to it. Setting a timer for myself from, okay, if I practice 3 times a week, maybe 1 time outside of stream, that's working for me right now, because otherwise it's going to be too much and I'm going to get stressed by it. That's, you don't want to get the stress, then persistency will go down, and the moment you stop you will have a harder time getting back to it. So don't be too hard on yourself, but kind of have like a little bit of a skill that you want to, and have a little bit of a plan, just a little bit. Where do I go from now? The moment that you found your learning style, or that you tried a new learning style, keep trying and keep connecting with people about the instrument. In the, for example, I'm disappeared again. Ooh. Oh. Like, are we back? Okay. Keep like communicating about it with other people. Keep reflecting on yourself. Keep trying out new things. For example, I have never bothered with fingerpicking, and I recently this year started trying to watch the videos about how do I understand what this thing is about. How do I understand how to play a chord? How do I well, not a chord when I'm fingerpicking. What brain? How does my guitar? What is my guitar? How is it? How do it? What? You know. So I only recently started to try and understand how my guitar is built. There's always more things to learn, and you will figure it out along the way. And if you're unsure, feel free to DM me about it, or someone else in here, or write in the music and audio sport, or talk to people about it who play the instrument. There's so much to learn in music. There's so much routes you can take. There's so much roads you can go. So reflecting and keep yourself asking questions. Hey, is this what I want to learn? Or is this just like taking up my energy? The moment it takes up energy, move on. Go to something else. Take a rest of it. Maybe come back later, but don't force it, because music is supposed to be fun. And if it's not, then there is maybe something wrong with the way you're learning. Maybe something that is giving you stress about it, and that is not where we want to go with music. Definitely not when it's there for like learning a new thing, or getting a habit of playing something that you've wanted to play for a long time. And the moment that you've learned the basics, you will find next steps, honestly. What can I keep to do to keep on improving? Like, keep an open mind and keep trying and keep figuring out things, and I don't know, yeah. Don't give up. But there is something for everyone, and I believe that 100%, that there is a musical instrument for everyone, that you just gotta find it. That there is a musical style for everyone, you just gotta find it. And the finding it takes the longest, I feel. But that's like with everything in life, right? Anyway, I have now another sheet here. I was thinking we're already like very long into it, so I don't know if there's questions about specific instruments, about basic of specific instruments. Do you have more questions, more tips? Do you have info you want to share as well? Feel free to let us know. Let me know. Knowing music theory is most helpful when trying to describe your idea of music to others. That's definitely true. I can enjoy an instrument and even write a project, produce an amazing song without knowing a bit of it. 100%. Theory and practical are effective to completely different things. Never let theory scare you away. 100% Storming. That is 100% true. Theory is a good tool to try and understand things and to communicate it to other people who are also trying to understand music. But don't get scared by it. Like, if you know basic things, like what letter is this chord, you can already produce things or make things, and theory is one of the many tools you can use to learn music, but it's definitely not the only one. And the basic things you will learn them along the way. It's not like you need to know everything in a week when you want to learn an instrument. You have the time to get used in it. You don't have to put yourself in a position where you say, okay, I want to play music just for fun. I don't have a lot of time. I'm playing one day a week, maybe for half an hour. Oh, the thing is gone. Oh no, it's not gone. Brain. So yeah, I mean, can I say the presentation is horrible? Thank you. My dad is calling. I don't know if you can hear him, but my internet is trolling. Yeah. Why is my guitar? Fingerpicking looks so hard. That is definitely true, and I'm trying to. I've definitely not been practicing it every week, but that is also alright. You just gotta get back to it. And when is Clever's guitar? Who is Clever's guitar? Yes. I love fingerpicking so much. Stopped myself basically by noodling in front of the TV, and that is amazing. I feel like that is one of the wonderful things about like improvisation and just like starting out. When I started out playing piano, I was not thinking, oh, this is this note, or this isn't this scale. No, that just came later after. Once more. Oh no. Oh gosh. Streaming is my practice time. Same for me. Streaming is my practice time too. Sometimes I practice one day out of streaming as well, but I feel like the people in the stream motivate me to keep on practicing, because I do love music, I love singing. But I've been streaming for 7 years, alright? So I've been like on and off though, but yeah, like I started streaming to get out of my comfort zone, and that changed into, hey, I do like music, maybe I should like try more music, and then that became my practice time, and 7 years is all it takes indeed. Yes. And yeah, I don't know, is there more questions, tips, or info you want to share with others about music? You can go to thementi.com and add that code. I'll put it up again, and you can appear on our screen if you'd like. You can appear on our screen. Oh, just that. My hands are shut and guitar was kind of annoying with fingers. So probably should have gone with piano. Honestly, I have very small hands, like super small hands, and that is one of my biggest issues with learning piano and guitar ever. Honestly, that's been my biggest like annoyment with everything, is like my hands are very small. Look at that, they're baby doll hands. Yeah, I've always had like issues to playing an octave on the piano, because like, let me show you. I've got a mini piano. So like, this is okay, but this is very small in comparable to a real piano. When I'm doing that here on my real piano, I'm like not at all able to spread my whole hand out, and I get so much cramp in my hand all the time. And with guitar is the same. I feel like my hands are too short for everything. So it's like, yeah, it's what works for you, and I felt like not all the things I can play on the I cannot play all the things on the guitar or the piano confidently. Thank you for being here and for listening in. You're amazing. And yes, Riley, you are awesome. And I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if there's specific questions about a specific instrument. If there is a specific question about piano or about ukulele or about the guitar, let me know. For example, for piano, there's a lot of different ways, but like for right composition, you just like drop your hand on the piano like you don't slap it against it, but you just let it fall down, and that is the way your hand should be on the piano, just position wise. And we're gone again. Why are we gone? Why are we gone? For the guitar, why are we gone again? Punch your piano until the internet passes out. Yes. So no, if you just like do this, your hand will be in the right position to play the piano. For the guitar, for the ukulele, it's most ergonomically wise. You put your thumb at the back of your guitar, not too much, but like, and then you try to play the frets as much to the little line on your guitar as well. I don't know if there's questions about certain instruments, but I thought like, hey, if they are, just just send them to me in the Discord right now, or maybe later. If you want to say anything that appears on screen, you can go to dementi.com and add this code. But like, play closest to these. If you want to learn how the strings work, that is like, there is basic theory that can help you. It's not necessary to just start playing on it, but it can help you to know what's going on. Playing chords close to the fret is giving the best kind of sound. And yeah, there's like so much that comes to it, to every individual instrument, but for that I was like, if I'm gonna like explain all of it, like just like it's gonna be three days, at least 3 days. So I feel like it might be easier to just like go through the tool list and figure out the instrument that you want to learn. But if there's any questions at all about anything, always free to DM me. If you have any questions right now about anything we've talked about, feel free to share and to let me know. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's it. I have like basics of for singing. I've always been taught everything starts with your breathing. If your breathing is not right, you're not gonna have enough power into your vocals. But that's also one way of singing that I've been taught, but there's so many ways of singing that can be taught. But your tummy and your breathing will give the power, from what I've learned, to everything else, and from there on everything with singing starts. But there's so many parts to all the little things, all the instruments, and I think it might be if there's a certain instrument that you would like to have like a whole session about, I think it would be good to have maybe like put a whole session about a full instrument. So be sure to go to the LearnSquad thingy if you have a certain instrument that you wanna hear. Be sure to go add that in there, because I feel like music in general, it's too big. There's too much to touch on. But I hope this one kind of helped. I hope that there's like information that came through and that helped you with your musical journey, and maybe encouraged you to start, even though there's many things happening and it might be overwhelming. But I believe in you. And I don't know, yeah. I don't know, yeah. Is there questions you want to ask still? Is there certain instruments questions that you have, or how to start with a certain instrument? Is there also, yes, Danny 101 is in the tools. It's in the sheet. because Danny has done a lot of videos with questions on tea time and other things, with information. So be sure to go check out those video playlists on YouTube. Um, and yeah, I don't know. Breathing, everything will be falling into place. Yes, 100%. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if there's no questions left, we done, I think. I'm gonna check the. I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but if there's no questions, I think we did. Thank you. Thank you so much for the chance to put this together. I'm glad. And I hope it might help someone to get started, and to have, like, yeah, that little boost of, don't worry too much about the way to it, but start and the rest will follow, and maybe just think about what you want to do and stuff, but I don't know, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. And if there's any questions afterwards, or to anyone, or on certain things, feel free to DM or always reach out, or yeah, I don't know. And thank you so much for the chance to get out of my comfort zone and do scary thing. Yes. Wait. Thank you so much for yeah,